FlyOver State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Let's do it.
All right, we're ready. Ready to talk Rampage? Baby, check out this fucking poster. Isn't that dope? That's a dope poster.
I'd rather talk about that poster for the next 20 minutes than talk about Rampage.
All right, well, before we get started, let's real quick. I'll run through the quick synopsis, and I'll also get cards on the table for myself and just say that yes, it's disappointing that people don't turn into the monsters, and they had an opportunity at the end of the movie to turn The Rock into a monster, and they didn't do that either. And I think those two things hold this movie back quite a bit. So I want to get those cards on the table first. Plot of the movie is evil company is creating a bio weapon that can make crazy monsters. They're doing it in space because it's illegal to mess with genetics on Earth. The containers fall to Earth. 3 different animals find them. They start turning into crazy monsters. The Rock is a primatologist. His ape is one of the monsters. He starts chasing after his ape. There's a government guy who's also going after the monsters. And then there's the evil corporation trying to draw the monsters to them to get their samples back. And that's pretty much it, right? Mayhem and
real dumps.
Yeah.
Anybody's first time? I don't think so.
No.
We all saw this. It's not that old. I actually thought it was a couple years older. It's only 2018.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 2016. And I'll put this out there too. I think the movie looks incredible. I think the effects hold up. I think they're really top-notch creatures.
I think it's casted well.
You had to do, except for the girl who I love the lead girl, but she does look like Candace Owens. I was so distracted.
God.
She's going to spout some weird right-wing opinions any minute.
Obviously, people will know her from Naomie Harris from Moonlight and 28 Days Later.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
She's great. Like I said, she's
very good
actress.
Even
though this is a dumb movie and nobody has to do much.
Dude, she in Moonlight fucking eats it up.
Yeah,
she's so goddamn good in Moonlight.
I don't watch a lot of dramas.
But yeah, I like that it opened up with the space horror sequence. It's a very generic.
Rat Monster's dope.
Yeah, it's a very generic sequence. Like we've seen it countless times, but it's very well executed. It's a funny monster.
If you recognize the astronaut, she is in Grindhouse. She's the doctor.
Yes, she's the doctor. The stab.
How many monsters do we have in this movie?
4.
Technically 4 if you count the rat monster.
Well, you gotta count Jeffrey D. Morgan saying brother.
It's very southern.
Yeah, that was one of my things I said on Twitter. Joe Manganiello's in this, and he's leading a team of badasses who also has Uriah Faber on it. And then
Uriah Faber in a mohawk and a shitty tattoo thing is hilarious. He
looks like Hawkeye. I was like, oh shit, is Hawkeye on your team?
I could not take Faber seriously as a badass.
I thought if you pulled out a bow and arrow, I'd have been like, hell yeah, this is an Avengers crossover.
Well, it's also
Southern drawl.
But I thought Harry Dean Morgan, they could have just played the same character, right? Like, instead of Joe Manganiello dying, if it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan instead of Joe Manganiello, instead of him just dying, you could have had him be the one survivor, and then he goes on to team. It just didn't need to be 2 characters. I was kind of like confused by that. It's a small thing.
I agree.
I actually really like Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this because his character is so dumb and kind of like unnecessary and weird. I was just like, okay, it's just fun. They're having a good time.
He's doing the Negan thing. He's doing the Negan from Walking Dead thing the entire fucking time.
He's wearing a suit. But in this, TJ, he's got a suit on, you see.
Yeah, he's
got that big Colt 45 on his belt that he never uses, right? He's got a big cowboy gun, like a peacemaker. He never uses it.
But the belt buckle, like
belt buckles. Yeah. And I like him and the Rock's back and forth. They got good like big dick energy back and forth. Like
I agree. I agree that it could have been consolidated into one thing. But I did enjoy his death though. Joe Manganiello.
That whole scene's really good. It's actually like a better version of the scene in Jurassic World where the Indominus Rex is coming and getting all those guys. It's like a little bit better than that.
There's two better than Jurassic World scenes in this. That one, and then when Malin Åkerman gets tossed up and the monster just eats her.
Yeah, well, because she deserves it. She's not an innocent
but
bystander who got saddled with someone else's kids.
that is pulled from the Rampage video games where
I wanted to talk. About.
But there's a third scene that is better than Jurassic World, and that's whenever I take a shit in my bathroom. It's so much better than
Save me from making the bad joke.
Because in the video game, they really like the three main monsters. They're all from the World Tour one that was done in the N64.
Yeah, well, I only know them from the.
I thought there was only two in the original.
No, all three of them.
Oh, then my bad.
I love Rampage. I actually have the Wii version where you have the old arcade one, the N64 one, and the newest one, which had a lot of cool new monsters in it and all these weird, like basically all different types of animals they made weird monsters for. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that is the one. Going back to Malin Åkerman is garbage. Like, I get they're supposed to be like the comedic relief, like. Rich
the kid who plays her brother is from The Office. Good. The only other thing I know him from is The Office. He's like the guy who they bring in the last season.
Yeah, second Jim,
basically.
Yeah, second Jim. But wait, before we move on, I have a question. Do you think that The Rock was able to get along with this primitive primates because he had so much experience working with Vin Diesel?
Well, I was gonna argue that like there's certain roles that actors will play that just are not fucking believable, and like I don't know what it is about this, but like you would assume anyone that's like
you got an itchy armpit.
Yeah, I got an itchy armpit. Anyone that has like it's tough because like The Rock doesn't fit many of like. I'm sorry, Rock, if you are watching this, but you're not.
I love you, man.
Smart roles. To where like he's a scientist, doctor, biologist, like type of a thing, like a gorilla wrangler, like a Thomas Jane Shark wrangler in Deep Blue Sea, sure, but like the one that's going to be
more like Jurassic World.
I'll tell you what's even weirder about The Rock in this movie that throws me off even more is that he is so weirdly asexual in it. Like women in this movie throw themselves at The Rock and he brushes them off. He's just like
because he can't trust.
He doesn't like people because he likes animals better than people.
Dude, the movie
a guy on Hoarders.
The movie starts off with the total smoke show being like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, like and she comes up to him. It's like, "Oh, hey, I saw you just like save a dude's life and talk to gorillas, so I am waterfalling right now. Can we go back to your place, please?" And he's like, "No, thank you. I have to go read a paper about a gorilla."
And I'm expecting, by the way, though,
so pissed that he can't live through The Rock. He's like, "Fuck her, so I can masturbate."
Right? Yeah. Give me something to yank it to. Go bang her so I can fantasize about it.
Weren't any of you guys like expecting like maybe some deep like family trauma coming up later of why?
He said that he was so unwilling to connect with people and stuff. They never really delve into it. They never really like.
What is who's the woman that protected gorillas for a while and lived with them?
Jane Goodall.
He would fucking.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, that's his that's his go-to.
Yusuf, I know what you're saying, but I'm just like I wish there was a little more emphasis in like the loss because the amount of times women do throw themselves at him. It's almost
at the very, very end, you get the impression he's going to smash with that chick.
Yeah.
Because him and the gorilla do a fist bump. They're like both being very misogynistic. But
so you could have confused.
But it's weird how It's like it reminds me of old Jackie Chan movies where like they didn't let him get into romantic relationships because women literally killed themselves if they thought Jackie Chan had a girlfriend. So they like didn't let him get in movies.
Jackie Chan was so fucking hot in the 90s and 80s, dude. He could have it like this, and he could give me like I don't need it.
If you watched Rumble in the Bronx and saw him in that tank top, again, sploosh, right? I mean, come on.
If you told me Rampage,
dude, Joe, pick a Jackie Chan movie. What the fuck are you doing? I don't.
Man. No, we're talking about Rampage, so it's not time to pick movies. Shut up, Yusef. You're not hijacking my.
I'm not picking movies. I was saying about the fucking movie.
Do you think The Rock connected with the primates because he's the same size as them?
No, I laughed my ass off today when he fist bumps George and they have the same fist size. It's still
their hand is the same size.
Do you remember like when they were saying like I don't know who it was. Mr. Sunday Movies, there was somebody who made the joke when like Congress got low and him and that little girl touched fingers. She should have fucking shot across the goddamn ship. And like, if George would have fist bumped The Rock, even though The Rock is gigantic,
his arm just shatters.
Gorillas could lift tons. Literal tons. Gorillas could lift tons.
I did like the idea. I'll tell you something they should have showed us is the gorilla versus grizzly bear fight. I would have how is that not in the movie? How do you only show me the aftermath of gorilla versus grizzly bear? I would live for that shit.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a serious question? I'm gonna shift gears to serious movie reviews.
Oh boy.
So why
WhyILoveMovies.com.
WhyILoveMovies.com, baby. Why didn't the ape transform? Like the ape
also didn't grow nearly as fast. Like the wolf is way bigger, and the lizard is even bigger than him. Like
the wolves have like wings. The lizard has some shit on their back, but the ape is just.
The lizard looks crazy. The lizard looks like a goddamn monster.
He's albino.
Why?
Because he's albino. They say it.
He's a ginger of the primate.
It's with his genetic makeup.
All it does is make him bigger and stronger and heal faster and shit.
You didn't catch a 5-minute scene where they talked about him being albino and why it wouldn't trigger him as much? Because it wasn't in the movie because it's an action movie, Yusef, and those things don't get explained.
I was fast forwarding through the movie because I had 45 minutes to watch an hour on a 47 movie, so
I watched this while I
didn't catch a lot of stuff.
Watching it 2 times speed. You're the kind of guys I complain about when I listen to podcasts. When I was like, they're complaining about simple things that are easily explained in the movie if you just paid attention.
You guys,
I watched it, man. I didn't complain about that. You
Joe, I would never
go to WhyILoveMovies.com where the original review is up there.
Thank you, my baby. Thank you. The best part of this movie is the last 20 minutes when it becomes the video game.
Hey, wait! I'm gonna shout out the villain, the lady. I wrote down their name.
Malin
Åkerman, because they gave her something different to do in this movie, and she's fun. She's good. She shot the Rock. She shot the Rock.
She's great in the final girl.
The scene where I'm in the theater. I'm watching this. I love a monster movie. So me and Harrison are watching this in the theater. And first of all, also, I like this movie was surprisingly gory. They didn't shy away from some nasty shit. Good for them. But I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay, she shot the Rock. So what's going to happen is he's going to be all like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then mutagen will save you. Stab, boom. Him and the ape team up and they fight the monsters. He's a big monster.
No, he's gonna look like Solomon Grundy.
Actually, and it was even worse than nothing because they acted like a gunshot did. 2 minutes later, he never got shot.
Organs. Yeah, my dude, you're still shot. It missed the vital. No, you're still shot.
Guts hanging out. You probably got some internal bleeding and some bile seeping in where it shouldn't be. You could be pretty fucked up in there. You ever see Three Kings? One bullet can do a lot of damage.
Shout out Spike Jones.
That's a good movie too.
Shout out Asian hate Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, shit, that's true. I do. There are, as much as I hate Mark Wahlberg, there's a few good Mark Wahlberg movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we covered one recently.
Ryan, go watch that episode of Boogie Nights.
So if you told me Skyscraper, San Andreas, and Rampage all came out, all were in the same movie, I'd believe you. They all look the same.
People love San Andreas. I was real bummed out once I saw it. And Skyscraper was a bit of a letdown. I thought it was going to be dumber. I wanted it to be dumber than it was, and it wasn't dumb enough.
And that's where this movie does better than those, is it knows its dumbness and sticks with it. A lot of the other Rocks movies like this are like, and those aren't monster movies, but like, we're going to be really serious and the action needs to matter. And it's like, no, I just want to see a bitch get eaten by an alligator, a lizard.
Well, and I think that, I feel like the thing with Rampage is that its big problem is it's just kind of forgettable. It's not bad. I think it's a fine movie. It's dumb, but like you said, it knows it, so it's just having a good time. And it's like, it put the money where it mattered into the special effects and the action sequences.
The monkey looks amazing. The primate.
All the creatures I think look great. I think all of them look really
I didn't
good.
like the wolf. I like the
wolves
lizard.
are hard.
I like the primate.
So I like the adaptations they gave the wolf. I like the wings and I like the porcupine. When it whips its tail and shoots the porcupine quills at the helicopter, that was sweet. Come on, that's sweet.
George got nothing.
But anyway, I think they put
got nothing
in places and all that, and I just feel, unfortunately, the movie's just a little forgettable. It came out in the midst of like a couple Pacific Rims, a couple Godzillas and Kongs, and it just didn't like have enough to hang.
Yeah.
What was the rough estimate? What was the rough estimate of people that died in the third act?
It's also one of the weirder video game movies.
I mean, at one point in the third act, the lizard is crawling up one side of the building and just for no reason crawls through the building and out the other side and then keeps going up. I was like, that thing would fall down. There's no way that building's gonna stay standing.
I live in Chicago.
That thing like
and that building is still down. It's still.
I mean, the thing. The thing made almost $500 million.
Really? Is that good?
Yeah. Worldwide.
But I bet it costs like damn near $250, I bet, with advertising.
100 says 100, yeah, 120 million plus another 140 million marketing.
Marketing, yeah. So
it's not a hit.
It's not getting a sequel off that.
I did like that they had visually callbacks to the original movie. I like some of the action sequences. The Rock is The Rock. We love you, baby. Retweet this episode.
If The Rock is wearing tan in your movie, you know you're off to a good start. He's got that khaki going. You know,
but there's something. I agree. There's something like missing from this movie to make like a good movie, and I just
it's not terrible, and it's not but there's just it didn't quite hit.
It's just something. There's something.
There's no catch in the middle. Like there's nothing.
I literally think it's the fact that if you needed to do either people turning into the monsters or The Rock turning into a monster at the end, one of those two things could have made this a hit. Because people turning into the monsters, that's what the Rampage game is all about. And I don't care that they didn't do that, but
it's Rampage.
You got a mutagen and you got The Rock. How do you not come to the end of the movie and do that? You know what I mean? I feel like one of those two things could have pushed it over the edge.
I think we were saying before, where it was like, oh, they know what the movie was, but it's where they failed is they played it too safe, and that's why it's boring.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
I do forgettable. I have a note, but I don't know why I forgot about Pen and Game, but after watching this movie, I kind of want to watch him do like a hard R movie, because there's a couple of moments where he goes. No, but now, like The Rock, because he's a couple of moments where he goes like, "Mother," and he stops and it's like, I just want to watch him like curse.
You know what? Earlier we talked about The Rock's worst movies. It's Baywatch, the one he tries to do hard R.
That's horrible. We didn't talk about that's horrible.
Because he did it was a hard R, and like.
It was trying so hard to be 21 Jump Street too. Like that was.
We love you, The Rock. We love you. We love you, The Rock.
I didn't blame The Rock.
He was fine, and it's not his fault. Like the movie just wasn't good.
Yeah.
I can only do one eyebrow. Oh, that's pretty good, boys. Nice. All right, let's hit it.
Let's go into the race.
I'll jump this off right off the bat. I had fun with this. I own it on Blu-ray. It's a really good fun Blu-ray grab. Especially Brian with Harrison and stuff like that. I'm sure it's like something you guys throw on every once in a while if you're having a monster movie kick. I give this a clean 6.5 out of 10, and 6.5 Malin Åkerman's in Heartbreak Kid, which she's amazing in. That's what I wanted to say through that
Malin
entire
Åkerman
thing.
keeps her top on, which is rare for her.
Final Girls.
But she
Final
didn't.
Girls.
But other than that, I'll give it. It's a clean 6.5.
Ooh, we have a bracket in mind, and Heartbreak Kid would be mentioned in my head. TJ, good rating. Joe.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with TJ. 6.5. Rampage arcade games, arcade machines.
Nice.
It's in their
cabinet.
There's a barcade
cabinets
by me where on the Saturdays and Sundays you can go like early in the day and the kids come in and stuff, and they have a Rampage machine. Love it.
There was one in Cincinnati. I haven't found one in San Antonio. We used to go so many times there, like get drunk
it's
and
so
play.
fun.
Oh, so much fun.
It's a blast. The only thing you have to pay for is pinball because the machines cost more to upkeep.
So there were so many when I lived like North Jersey, but the Philly barcade is
barcade.
Yeah, it's just not a good.
I'll give it 6. I'm not gonna give it that half. 6 out of 10. Wolves being decapitated. Which was a good shit. But yeah, like I agree. Maybe I was drunk. The second time around, I enjoyed it more because I knew what it was. When I watched it in the theater, I didn't like it as much. But The Rock is being The Rock, and there is a lot of enjoyment in it. But I just wished it was more. Like it's kind of hard when you walk away from a movie wanting more.
Yeah.
Not wanting a sequel, but wanting more from the movie that you just watched. So that's why it kind of holds me back. It holds me back.
I think, and I'm right there too. I think 6.5 is like the perfect number for this movie. It's because it's not bad, and it hits its marks, and it's got some cool shit in it, and like effects hold up, but it's just missing that one thing. Like I said, there's those two little notes. If you could hit either one of them, this movie could have been an 8. With no other changes. Literally with zero other changes. If at the very end, The Rock stabs himself with mutagen, gets big, fights alongside George in a different way. They still do that, basically. Just he fights as a big mutant instead. And then, you could have... That would have moved this movie right up to an 8. Boom.
This is a movie where if I watched it in the theaters, I probably would have left, turned to Laura and said, that was really fun, and then never thought about it again, but always been like, that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
But remember, that was fun. But since I've watched it at home, you're a little more, it's fine.
Yeah.
Joe, where are you taking us next?
Hold on real quick, can I just say, the movie made me a 6.5, but man, this poster is a 10 out of 10, right? That's a fucking great poster.
I will find the
classic Godzilla posters. I love it. It's a good one.
I will find the...
Yeah, I remember The Rock promoting it on Twitter.
Oh, I fell in love with it. I saw it. I was like, I don't give a fuck about if the movie could be a piece of shit, but that poster is amazing.
Yeah. The Rock, baby.